What's up guys, TC here, and welcome to Starbound Inventions. Today I've got a liquid alchemy machine for you. And so what this basically does is it can convert water from these turrets into any liquid in the game, right? And so basically these turrets can generate infinite liquid. And as long as you have these pools of the different liquids in the game, you can have an unlimited amount of all of them. And this process is possible by a little effect called the Martinez transformation. This was found by a player named Martinez quite a while back. And the idea of it is that whenever liquid water flows over the top of another liquid, at the very end when it starts to kind of thin out, those little bitty liquid particles actually become so small they don't render, and they actually join in with whatever majority liquid is around them. At least that's how I understand it. And so what ultimately happens is you've got liquid water basically transforming into another liquid. So a lot of people use this to make Arceus. And so this machine can make Arceus, but it can also make every other liquid in the game. So I'm going to give you a quick example of what's going on. I'm going to flick this switch, and it's going to turn on this turret here. And what happened? The turret has a water gun in it. It'll target this ball. And there's doors here, right? And so whichever door I have open is going to determine what liquid we make. So we wanted to make Arceus, right? So we're going to open these two doors now, right? We come over here, and we turn our machine on. Now if you go up here, you'll see our clock. There's a built-in 10-second timer that has to go down. This is not the fastest machine, but it's a kind of a requirement of an ability for it to make all of them. So you'll see it turns on, pumps some liquid, and you'll see the water kind of spreads out over all this stuff here. And, oops, I had these drains on. And you already see, there's liquid down here. There's already Arceus being generated in this thing. You'll see the water spreads out over it, and it's dripping off. And these liquid sensors here are kind of a way to let me know that it is in fact working. They don't do anything, they just light up and let me know. And so you'll see the water just spreads out over it, drops down to this little container here, and it's going to start filling up these ones down here in just a second. And like I said, it gets really, really thin to the point where it doesn't render anymore, right? So whenever it drops into those little bitty, very, very thin particles, it takes quite a moment for it to start to render. And so it's actually starting right now. It's very, very thin. It's right here. Let's just give it a second. There it is. And so you see it's starting to fill up this chamber right here. And the cool thing of this, I'm going to show you in a minute, but let's turn this one off, and let's generate another liquid really quick. So what we have to do is we have to make sure it stops dripping in first before we can switch to another liquid. So until this stops blinking, we really can't turn it off. But I have drains built on in this. There we go. So the drains are, you really wouldn't need this if you wanted to build the drains. The drains are for me to show off the different liquids it can make. So say we wanted to make slime, right? We'd go back here and we'd open the last door, right? So now the water goes all the way through all these doors and drops down into here, right? So we turn this on. Here's our 10-second countdown timer, and again, this is just part of the machine. It's part of the timing mechanism, and there's really no way to bypass this. If you do it any faster than this, sometimes it can bug up. So you'll see it'll pop off 3 rounds of water. The water spreads off, very thinning out over here. Now it's so thin it's not even rendered anymore, right? And here you can see it's activating these things, so it is dripping. So in a couple seconds, we should start seeing some slime generate down here. There we have it. There's our slime. Just like that, you've now got unlimited slime generation. And one of the really cool things about this is that you can actually, one of the big problems with the Martinez transformation is that you could never make liquid lava directly from water. And that's because lava, when it interacts with water, becomes obsidian, right? And I've actually found a way around that, now what people used to do, if they wanted to make lava with it, was they would have it transform into, they would turn the liquid into poison or something, and then they would drop the poison into lava, because it doesn't have that interaction, right? Well, I've actually found a way around that to convert liquid water straight into lava, right? Liquid water directly into lava. And what it is, if you notice this lava chamber here has a very weird background. These are all little lights, okay? And so these are placed on the background. And the idea here is that basically, imagine like, okay, so there's lights here, right? And I have these iron blocks, and I try to place them, and you see nothing, I can't place them, right? That's because there's already a block there. That's those lights. You can't place a block if there's already an item in the foreground, right? And so what happens is the game, whenever water interacts with the lava, the game tries to place obsidian, but there's already a block there, so it can't. So we're going to open up these 3 gates here. So now this one, when you turn it on, it's going to shoot water land here, go all the way down to the lava, and you're going to see, let me just make sure these gates are open, and you're going to see that it's going to generate lava directly from water without any obsidian generation. So over here we have the exact same clock mirrored on this side. So this one will turn on, pop off 3 rounds. The lava doesn't turn into obsidian. It's going to spread out over the top of the lava. And here you can see it dropping through on this thing here. So we know it's working, and there we have our lava. We're directly turning water into lava through this transformation with no obsidian. So, next thing I want to show you something really cool actually about this machine that is very unique that I didn't even realize. And so, I'll admit this machine is quite slow, right? It's not like that efficient. However, there is something really cool about it, the machine is slow in that you could definitely make another machine that was much faster than this. However, it would only be able to work with one liquid, and if you wanted to change that liquid, you would have to manually do it. The point of this machine here is that you have an all-in-one machine that can make any liquid while you're away. So you can just put this on your ship, and this thing can be shrunk down just a little bit, so it can fit on all the ships. I've made sure it would. And essentially, you put this on your ship and you go exploring, you come back later and you've got several hundred fuel. And again, you can make the fuel tank as big as you want. I just made this one here just because it was convenient. But you can make a huge fuel tank to have unlimited fuel or lava or oil or healing water, swamp water, poison, whatever you wanted. You can have an unlimited amount here. But there's something extra cool here. And it's just kind of a process of this machine here. But essentially look at it as no matter... Okay, you can turn on both these turrets at the same time. And it will generate one liquid. What liquid it generates is actually determined by what is down here, right? So we turn this machine on the right side first, and it started making lava, right? So if we were to turn this machine on now, let's go turn on the poison, okay? So now, if we were to turn on the left side, this is going to fire, and you think it's going to drop poison here, but it's just going to continue to make more lava, right? So now what we're going to do is this is going to double the efficiency of it. So it's you see the countdown time over here. They're both activated now, so this one's going to turn on in just a second. So this one's on. It's popping it into the poison. Now you can see they're both dropping it, right? So they're both activating, and now you can see the rate at which the lava generation is now going up. It's even faster. So the idea behind this is that once you've started one side, and as long as you've generated something down here, that's what you're going to generate. Then it doesn't matter what you have it set to. So you can, so say you want to make more healing water. You turn this side on first, generate some healing water here, and then you can just turn on this left side to whatever you want, and it'll just continue to make healing water at double the rate. So I'm going to show you guys the wiring real quick up here. And so the wiring, let's just, so we have down here, these are lights, don't worry about that. These are the individual doors, right? So all these levers do is open the door, that's it. Now up here the wiring, you'll see we have 5-second timers, right? And these are the exact same, just mirrored. So we have two 5-second timers and they're daisy chained together. So this is one 10-second timer, correct? So when this clock gets done counting down 5 seconds, this one will start counting down to 5 seconds. Now when that 5 seconds, or the 10 seconds total is up, it connects to a NOT gate, right? And this NOT gate does two things. First off, it reconnects to the top of that 10-second timer, restarting it. Now the other thing it does is it connects to this 2-second timer right here, right? So you'll see, and the 2-second timer connects to the turret. And what this means in short is that every 10 seconds, this turret turns on for 2 seconds, right? And all this NOT gate does is ensures that it keeps repeating the cycle, and you turn it on and off. And again, this stuff can it can make anything. You don't need to have the little the drains here. I have them here so I can do that and show you guys stuff. But it can make anything. So like if we wanted to make oil, we close this last one here, right? Make sure our drains are, there we go, they're open, or closed. There we go. It's kind of hard to tell if the drains are open and closed. And then we would turn this on. So we go up here, turn this on. The countdown timer has to go down. So this is 10 seconds is going by. And then for 2 seconds it turns on. See? And then this thing, and then that's, so during this 10 seconds the 2-second timer turns on, right? And so that's kind of the gist of the clock. And as you can see right here, we're already generating oil, right? So it's a very, very, very cool machine. I'm going to say it's a little bit complicated. I wouldn't suggest it for anyone brand new to the game, but it's very cool. I worked very hard on this, coming up with the idea and getting a working prototype, and then making one that I thought actually looked kind of cool. And one thing I need to suggest if you are going to make this, to be very careful about, is see the balls here, which is what the turrets are aiming at. Make sure where you put them is out of reach of the player, right? So I have these extra thick floors here so I can't interact with this ball, because you'll pick this ball up if you get too close to it. So the idea is just make sure there's plenty of space between you and the ball, because if you pick it up, it is such a pain in the butt to get that ball back on that spot. So that's my last little tip for this. And again, you can make this chamber for collecting whatever you're generating. You can make it as big as you want. You can put it on your ship. essentially like make one of these, put a huge fuel collection area, and then turn it on and then go down to the planet and explore a little while, and you come back later and you're going to have a butt ton of whatever liquid you had it generating. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that like button. If you're new, subscribe. I'll talk to y'all later.